Well, hello.
Hey, hi Eric.
How are you, sir?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Good. Hey, I want to make sure I pronounce your name right. Is it Sheriff or Sharif?
Sheriff.
Sheriff. Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Awesome. That is my surname though. My name is Asad, my first
Oh,
name.
Assad. Okay, very good.
Yeah.
So you want me to call you Assad?
Yeah, Asad. That's
Very
my name.
good. That's perfect. That's perfect. I'm trying to get. Well, for some reason,
Mhm.
my camera prompter is not connected, but it's all good. I will figure it out here shortly. Uh,
Cool.
maybe. Ooh, excuse me.
No
Display
problem.
capture. Okay. For some reason, um, you are not coming through on
I'm
my.
coming through. Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. No, you are. Sorry. Let me say that differently. For some reason, your screen, and it's not your fault. It's on my end. Um,
Mhm.
is not coming through, and I don't understand. Oh, I do
No.
understand why. Oh my goodness. I will get it figured out.
Cool.
Way better.
Yeah.
Okay, I could not. Yeah, it was on my end. I could not figure out why. I have it dialed, and it wasn't projecting it, but it's
Now it's all good now.
yeah, it's all good now. Sorry. Again, it took me a minute there to get it dialed in, and then when I end up with the the note takers in, I have to then come in and choose. I have like 10 different settings. It doesn't matter. We can proceed. It just I have to hide tiles without video, but then it has a video, so then I have to go and say no, don't remove
Uh,
from the call. I have to say
oh.
don't watch this one, and then go back
Uh,
and choose spotlight, and then you and I are both there. Um, Auto
this is
dynamic.
the call thing. Yeah.
They changed their settings on. Oh, I know what it is. I have to pin you,
Mm. Okay.
and then I
That
have to
should
pin
work.
myself, and then I have to go back to spotlight view. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can tell, but it's what happens on my side is all of the note takers have their own video, right? Which so I have to go into the settings, say don't show anybody without a video, but then for some reason it hijacks that. They changed it where the setting used to be that I would allow note takers in. Now the only option is deny them. So then you have to go into a sub menu and then choose to allow them. So
Yeah.
nevertheless, I got it figured out. And then once I do that, then I have to pin you, pin me, and then I have to go back to another
Yeah.
view that makes them finally go away. So it's a little bit of a
Got
hassle. I'm not gonna lie to try to just get a
it.
clean screen.
Well,
Goodness.
I'm glad we got it
Yeah,
now.
me too. Very good. Thank you, my man. So glad that we're on. So Assad, it is very good. Dude, glad to be on with you. Let's dive in. Tell me a little bit about your business background, how you got into AI. Of course, you and I are getting to know each other from the AAA accelerator, and so
Yeah.
then how you end up inside the community.
Yeah. So I'm Asad Sharif. I'm from India, Bangalore. I have been a fashion entrepreneur since 2018, 2017 for the last 8, 9 years. And I'm into men's wedding wear. I do like suits and stuff. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm in my office right now. So I do tuxedos, double-breasted suits, tailored suits, handmade suits, full canvas, half canvas, all of that stuff. So I've been doing this for a while now, and I started exploring AI voice agents for like automating my lead. like qualification and booking like appointments to my store. And as I was doing that, like I just like fell in love with the whole AI scene,
Yep.
like generative AI, agentic AI, and then I started, just playing with it, and it was fun. And while I was doing that, I happened to meet two, three of my friends that started automation agencies. One of them got into AI investing, and I've known these guys since we were kids, and now these guys like suddenly doing like really, really well. And I
Yep.
was like, wow, there's got to be something here. And I started looking into it. I've been doing fashion for like 9 years, but like financially, I wasn't very happy with where I was. Like, I'm comfortable, I'm okay, but like, I'm not like hockey stick, right? Like
Yeah.
hockey curve.
Yeah.
And like, I've ran more than like 100 ads. I've posted more than 1,000 videos. I've served more than 5,000 clients. But like, I'm not rich, because it's customized clothing. Like, it's tough. It's
Yep.
not easy.
Yep.
Like, what a $100 customer,
Yeah.
the amount of work he gives you and the amount of headache you have to take to execute his work is the same for like a 10K customer, right? And you have a lot of those, and I'm doing 500 orders a month, and buttons and zips, and it can get crazy, right? Like, and sometimes and you're working with like uneducated people, right? Like, it's blue collar, basically the laborers.
Okay.
And if they're skilled laborers, right? They're uneducated, but they're skilled. So so if you wrote on a paper like blue pant and in this gray pant, this happened yesterday. He cut the wife's trouser and the husband's fabric, and the husband's trouser and the wife's fabric, and they were so pissed. And each trouser cost like $200, and they were so pissed. And like, now I have to like bear the whole thing. So even if I'm doing like 50K a month,
Oh.
it's like 10K just behind like these nut jobs. Like, and there's nothing you can do. What are you gonna do? Like, write the thing, give it to them, tell them, and you walk away. You're like, 2 inches reduce the waist. You come back and he's increased it by 2 inches, and you're like, I said reduce. They're like, oh, I thought you said. And I'm like, no, man. Like, and I have 25 people, so you're managing like 25 guys who rely solely on memory, who can't read, who can't write.
Yep.
It is fucking retarded. And like, my mom's been doing this for like 20 years. My mom has like 50 plus employees, and she's perpetually stressed. Long story short, this business will go on, but I don't see peace of mind. I have constant anxiety. And I feel, at least like in AI, the ticket size is bigger. I could be doing the same numbers with 4 clients a month or 5 clients a month. And like, I can tell a developer, a guy like me who probably can like speak English, can take notes, can read the notes he took, like, hey, the client wants the logo in blue, not white, and he'll actually remember that. And I
Yeah.
won't have to live with anxiety
Yeah.
thinking, he hear me, did he remember me? And like, so I'm just looking to have that as my life. Also, the wave is on right now. The adaptation is still not anywhere close to what it's going to look like in the next 5 to 10 years, and I think it's a great place to be.
Yeah, man.
That being said, yeah, I I think, yeah, it only took me 4.5 months to get a call with you on your channel.
Well, and by the way, I know I mentioned this, but these calls are I can broadcast them on my YouTube channel, right? And so I totally forgot at the top of the hour to read it, but I'm supposed to read a disclaimer if that's okay. Just that by joining this call, you agree that these conversations may be recorded or broadcast live or in future replays across the platforms. This is coaching, obviously not legal, financial, or professional advice. So you're just responsible for your own decisions and results. So if you're good with that, we just continue. But you're right. My calendar has been crazy busy. So
Good.
all good, good.
Yeah, all good.
It has
So,
been one of
yeah.
those things where we've realized that the demand is so high. They're actually putting some future clients who are joining AAA will only get access to business coaching at a different tier level, I think, because it doesn't matter how many spots I open up, they always book. So we do an open call now on Monday nights as well that you can join if it works out. So I may be messing with the times on that, but I want to say it's 5:30 to 6:30 my time, Central Time, U.S.
Yeah.
And that we had like 30 plus people on last night, and I get to everybody's question. Not everybody gets on camera, but I at least make sure I get to everybody's question. So if for some reason, but these calls right here on Tuesdays, we're going to be doing live shows consistently, and I'm still working in the best way to move forward. to optimize that for views, because what I'll probably do is broadcast your call live and then immediately turn around and turn it into a YouTube video where you're being featured on that call. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's going to be double dipped live and then also a video that goes out. So
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Yeah, totally cool. So,
well, where are you at
who,
now? Let's talk about the thing that's most in your way, and how do we
yeah,
get that?
cool. So I had like two questions for today. I'll read them both out and then you can like get into it. So question number one is, while I was in my warm list reaching out to like all my known network and clients, I called one of my clients who is like a HNI client. He's pretty big. He's probably given me just this year more than like 25K or like 30K worth of business just buying clothes in like less than a year. And I called him. I said, "Hey, can I automate your business with AI?" And he met me and he's like, "Dude, I've known you for like 7 years. You're freaking awesome. I trust you and shit. What if I don't want you to automate my business, but I can put you in touch with my entire network and I want to invest in you and like be partners with you?" And I sent him a deck of like, I wanted to raise like 200K US and for 10% revenue share.
Evaluation. Yeah.
And and he asked for 20 and then I said like, okay, like the best I can do is like 15 right now, and I did 15, and we're meeting this week to lock it in. He said, looks good, let's meet, get the paperwork out of the way, blah blah blah. And I said, okay, cool. So now that
You
that's
talk so fast, it's fun. I love it.
it's like we have 30 minutes, we have 15
I
minutes
know.
left.
I know.
So like I'm trying
Well,
to
that's
stay
good. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then so there's two parts to this investment, right? This is how I have structured the deal. So I take 50K first and I use that for the first 6 months to build my content engine and only run a AAA agency.
Okay.
Out of that, he only gets revenue share, no equity. He gets 15% flat on the deal for 6 months. And then that continues for a year and a half. So for 2 years, he gets revenue share and then that stops. In the sixth month, I find an offer or a product or something that I want to productize, and I start building that and launching that, and that's where I'm going to use the remaining 150K, like either a SaaS tool for like law firms or something that I can sell for like $2,000 to $5,000 a month and get like 20-30 clients, and that's what's in my head right now.
Okay.
And this is what I said to him, and he likes the sound effect. And then eventually, in 3 to 4 years, we either exit or we do a different business or we continue doing this. And he said he'd like to sell and get into something else, and I said, yeah, okay, cool. So this being said, this I'm still in the first question, by the way. Within the first question, it's like, what do you think of the deal? One, and two, do you what other things could I possibly productize? What other venues could I get into? Seeing the way AI is growing like so fast, do you think I should look at AI infrastructure or like data warehouses or like something else that I could potentially do with that money that might be even better than like a AAA and then like a product? So that's question number one. Do you want me to do question number two right now? Or
Let's start with that answer.
yeah.
Because I can't give financial advice, what I can say is, do you understand the difference between horizontal and vertical integration?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Horizontal is doing different things. Vertical is in the same line of
So it's
business.
actually the opposite, and I used to get that confused too. So fair game, I get it. Horizontal is when you buy everything on the same shelf. So
Okay.
it would be if you the guy that pioneered it was a guy named Rockefeller. He bought every processing facility for oil that rendered kerosene in his time. He just bought. He executed something called the Cleveland Massacre. He bought 26. He bought 22 of the 26 companies that existed in a single,
Yeah.
go. Unbelievable. And then they
Yeah.
called him a monopoly. So they invented laws because this guy was so brilliant. So then he
Yeah.
switched to something called vertical integration, and he had to do
Yeah.
it. He had to do it because of market pressures. But the point is, vertical integration is when you own everything from the source to the client. So in his
Yeah.
case, he did not want to own the well, like where they dug the oil, but he did own the processing facility, which then he owned the gasoline and the kerosene, and then he owned the pipeline that shipped it to his people. He had to get around the railroad. So what does that mean? AI is close to crude oil. It's in this application. What Rockefeller did was he took people invested and pulled the oil out of the ground, but then it had to be processed. The crude oil is very risky. High leverage, high risk, high return, but too risky for people who want to make too much money because you will bust eventually. So he gambled on the second step, which was refinement. How do I take this crude substance and turn it into a refined product that I can then own the distribution channel as well and ship it to my customer? This is my whole life. This is all I care about. So what we're talking about is my favorite question. So with regard to what should you invest in, you'll have to contextualize that around your unique situation. But AI itself, Anthropic, OpenAI, Grok, Gemini, etc., is crude oil. So they are getting into distilling in their own sense into applications. They will eventually. That gap's going to close. And that's just the way of the world in AI. It goes so fast, and they have that authority. So we have to find something that has a moat around it. So you either have to invest in the infrastructure before the AI, something like, let me pull up my, I guess I have a stock ticker on my computer. Let me pull it up right quick. Like Bloom Energy Corporation, which is down this week, but over the last 6 months, they've just really 3 months, they've exploded. They've tripled since March 29. Right, and they figured out how to install energy quickly on the ground where they are, or you want to go to the opposite side of that curve after AI and stay who stands to profit most from it, and then you're looking at people like Amazon. That's those two companies by themselves, Tesla, or getting more high market funds like Vanguard S&P stuff. So this is not financial advice. This just, I'm telling you how I think through it is I either need to invest in the crude oil, like the production of the thing out of the ground. Since I'm not Anthropic, you'll be able to invest in this fall, right? But in OpenAI and XAI, or SpaceX, all at the same time. So I either need to look at things that they require to do their job, which I think is probably pretty dependable, the energy sources, the land, the electricity, infrastructure, etc., and you'd have to do your own research there. Or you're going to have to look at something after that, which is companies that stand to profit. Now, there is a middle stream, which is where you and I are at talking right now. The AAA Agency Accelerator is how you and I end up talking. So I have an AI agency. You have an AI agency. Or you're in startup for one. What is that? Well, say
you
what? Oh, yeah. Yeah. We are exploding right now. But that's always going to get a little bit, that the AI companies themselves, like Anthropic, are always going to start to encroach a little in different ways. So we got to keep that advantage and that moat and do things that would be too much of a headache for them to do, right? Which is why we do custom development work for companies, right? Small, medium business, and even larger than small, medium business. So depending on what you consider medium. So yeah, you can be, that's where I'm making all of our current income right now, and I'm pursuing it aggressively. I believe there's a window there of time where, as AI agency owners, whether that's 12 or 24 or 48 months, we have a massive opportunity and advantage to get ahead and make a bunch of money there. I consider it money like the gold rush, though. I don't think it's going to stay around.
Yeah, and it's not, we're not late right now. We're in the middle of it.
Yeah, that's right. You're not late at all. No. And I mean, I'm making, we're doing well. So $30,000 to $50,000 a month cash on deposit, but we have hundreds of $1,000s out on contract. It's just not, it doesn't pay all at once, right? It comes in over time. So this year, I expect to have well over $1 million under contract. Easy. Wow. By the end of the year. So, and I just outsource developers. So I don't have, that's just it. And now I may bring on people to help me deliver, but we're doing really well. The market is good. Now, I've got advantage because of my own business reputation, experience, and then I'm a graduate professor for AI here in Nashville, Tennessee at Lipscomb University. So I have been pursuing it for a year. So I'm just ahead of you, and I'm older, which gives me some advantage, but not much. So you just have to be in a hurry. And there's real money to be made in the AI agency space. I mean, again, I'm in it. However, I'm literally looking to stockpile cash to invest in other things while I build my own version of a pipeline. Because what will happen, and Rockefeller had this happen to him, he built kerosene, but then kerosene ended almost overnight when electricity was invented. But what happened was they found that the other byproduct of processing crude oil was gasoline. And at the same time, Ford invented the motor car. So the same pipelines that Rockefeller had built to ship kerosene could suddenly carry gasoline and made way more money. You never know. What's that?
What book did
Oh,
you
I
get
just
just now?
am a research junkie. I just am a historian. There is a series you could watch on the History Channel called "The Men That Built America,"
Okay,
and you can
cool.
it's a TV show, but it's amazing. I think it's the most important documentary for the business owner
Thanks.
I've ever seen, followed by Ray Kroc, the founder. It's brilliant. But all that to say, you have to build a pipeline, but you have to use Carnegie did the same thing. Carnegie made all his money in bonds and trading on the stock market, but then he got into the steel business. And the steel business, he used all of his cash flow from stocks and bonds to create a steel company that almost went bankrupt, but he pounded it and sold steel to railways after he proved it was a viable solution and made a killing. But then he made more money when America finally decided to build skyscrapers using his steel. So you can never
Wow.
know what I call it the second wave. You can never know what the second wave is. You have to prepare like crazy with the first one and build an export system, a pipeline for it, so that when the commodity changes, it went from railroads to skyscrapers with Carnegie. It went from kerosene to gasoline with Rockefeller. It went from ships to trains with Vanderbilt. Like all these famous, the fathers of capitalism in America after the Civil War, all of them had a shift. They made a ton of money in the first thing, became very wealthy, but were not married to the thing. They transitioned that money and power, all cash, into a new thing when it came along. So AI is the boomtown moment. It is the gold rush we're in, and it is real.
Yeah.
However, I think it will be so integrated into businesses long term that you will have to pivot to do something else, more than just a pure AI agency. Because
How
there,
long term?
I don't know. Uh, I gotta believe we have a little more runway. Um,
You think more than 2 years?
yeah, at the most four. I would be hard pressed. It's not going to be about what's possible. What's already possible could easily put most agencies out of business. It's going to be about who's accessing it and who knows about what's possible, right? Like most people don't know they don't even know what a skill is, right? They don't, and that's okay. Like they just don't. Most people don't know there's 4 LLMs. They don't know how AI works. Like you and I are way ahead. So with that in mind,
Yeah.
it's going to be the education and the disbursement, which is a good thing. And I heard Liam say that several months ago, and I actually took great comfort in it too. He said, the thing that's going to keep us in business long term in the agency space is the rate of human adoption, not the tech. The tech's going to be so fast forward, it's going to be ridiculous. But the rate of human
Yeah.
adoption is what slows it. And that's a good thing. And that's really why
Yeah.
we're going to be staying in business. So for how long, I don't know. But
Yeah.
exactly like you're saying, I'm stockpiling cash so I can buy into the next thing, transfer to the next thing. For me, the play for you and I is different. For me, the play is a media company and building,
Yeah.
online brand and my coaching going forward and leveraging my family's
Yeah.
kind of proprietary way of building a business. So that's my thing. Your
Yeah.
thing would need to be something else, but we both use AI to get there, whatever that is. I know we have
Yeah.
3 minutes left, and I want to make sure you get the most value. I feel like that's a huge answer, though. What we just talked about.
Yeah. For
That's
sure. Yeah,
that's
that's a
worth
good
a
one.
book right there. So
Yeah. For sure. So next question. Uh, Man, I'm still like trying to get my first client. I haven't gotten it yet. My girlfriend and I are doing this together. She got like 2 clients already, but I'm still getting my first client. I called. We started together, but yeah. But yeah, like so I have 2 businesses, right? So it's kind of like hard, but I am reaching out to people. Uh, Now that I'm getting this money to get speed, I'll be able to hire. at least like one person to like help with stuff. And so there's three things. One, should I found a company that has a done for you cold email lead gen system. They themselves are doing like 200K a month in revenue, and they've been in business for like 10 years, and they work with only international companies. So I'm asking, should I use some money to pay for a done for you system? uh, and two, where should I be spending most of my time, just on the warm outreach, or learning a little bit of AI myself too right now, or let that be? And my final question within that question is, Liam says pick a niche for your content, right? And the niche that I picked was service businesses, high ticket luxury service businesses, like what I've been doing for 10 years because I have experience doing that. What do you think? There's three things:
Yeah.
DFY, learn myself, and the niche thing. Yeah.
Having somebody do something for you, you have money or time. So you can spend money to buy back time to go faster. The question is, what do you spend it on? If you think cold email is the best way to make the loudest sound on the quietest channel for your niche, awesome. If it's not, go spend time or money to acquire their attention in a place they'll actually listen. If you're going to reach out to me, cold email is never going to work. Ever. However, a DM from a legit person on LinkedIn will work if it's not a part of a mass campaign. If they email me personally, they follow up and they have a real reason, and I can see that. But if their web scraper pulled it down and sent me a message, I'll smell it and I'm not interested. So there's that. So done for you, definitely worth it if you find the right thing for your audience. What was your second question? I remember your third question. What's your second question?
Will I be spending any time right now
Yeah,
initially learning
spend your
myself?
time on the thing that you need to make sure you can go take a big swing. So if you feel like you still don't understand what's available, you probably should spend some time educating yourself on that. However, you're never going to be able to keep current because it changes so fast. So once you have a general idea, if you can understand your market, which you do because you're one of those folks, then really the skill is consulting. It's going in, being able to analyze their business against what you offer or what automations are possible, and you can actually use your own AI to figure that out. So the skill is, how do I ask questions? How do I interview people? How do I dig for repeatable systems and automation capacity, etc., and then deliver a real report that shows them what's possible? Because that's what they're paying for you, is intelligence. That's the audit. I only sell audits. After that, that audit gives them a menu of things they can further buy from my team and I. But in the beginning, I don't sell surgery. I sell x-rays, right? And MRIs, so I can find out if you need surgery or not. So, and then the last question, should you niche down? 99% of the time, I tell people don't. Go wide first, then niche down. However, the only people I allow to niche down are people who are niching down in the sector or industry they're currently coming from, which is you. So if you want to niche down on the sector you already understand, absolute permission to do that because you already understand the industry. And the only time you can niche down effectively is when you have deep insider knowledge of an industry, which you do. Yeah. So I'm still serving widely because I haven't decided to go after insurance companies. That's not a niche I want to play with because there's too much regulation, and that's my background. Right. I could also do churches because I was in the Christian ministry world for 30 years. So the budgets aren't usually there for that, and they're not AI forward. So I've just said, you know what, I'm just going to go to the general market. I am finding a niche right now, but I'm not dialed in. I'm probably 50% though committed to my unique direction. So we'll see. Yeah, I hope that helps, dude. It's so good to meet you.
Likewise, Eric. Last one.
Yeah.
What is your number one acquisition system? Like where do you get your?
All of mine is live and in person. I go to events in my city. Masterminds, coaching calls, entrepreneurs and espresso events. I'm looking to put myself physically where other business owners might be and just get to know them. I win in person though. I have a big personality and a presence in the room, so I'm always looking to maximize that. So
love it. Thank you.
Dude, I'd love to see you on another call. These calls will be open on Tuesdays, and hopefully I'll expand even beyond Tuesdays. So I'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you so much, Eric.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Super helpful.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Awesome. Sheriff, so nice to meet you. Dude, you're on it. Love the business model you've already got going. Let's see who our next caller is. Looks like Adam. Adham, perhaps. 3 guests waiting. Okay, let's see if I can get all this to work. Are you there? Hello?
Hello. Sorry,
Oh,
Eric. How you
you're
doing?
good. Very good. Let me I need to click a couple buttons here to make sure we have the right view. I apologize for my delay. Gentleman and I on the last call, we're having a good time.
No
So,
problem. No
just
problem
got
at
carried
all.
away. And do I pronounce it Adam? You and I met before, I feel like.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I've definitely watched a lot of your videos. I
Oh,
don't know
sure.
if you've met me.
Sure. Do you pronounce it Adam or Adham?
It's Adham, so it's an Egyptian name.
Perfect. I was hoping I would get it right. Very
No, you
cool.
did.
Very cool. Well, dude, pleasure to meet you.
Likewise.
Again, thanks for your patience while I dove in. But let's get right to it, man. I'd love to hear about you, your business background. First off, classy style, looking very clean today. Give me a little bit about your business background, how you got into AI, and then how you and I get to know each other. At the AAA, like what brought you to our community.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been in the community for quite a while now. I'd say just over a year.
Okay.
My background is it's a big story as to like why a lot of things happened in my business, which I'll tell you about now. So I have a degree in computer science with AI from
Okay.
a top 100 university globally. And I also work a full-time job as an AI research engineer at like one of the biggest car companies in the world. So,
Okay.
so that's my background. The reason I joined the community was maybe a year ago, I just had this epiphany of, okay, I do not want to work a full-time job for the rest of my life. I see, I go to work and see 40, 50, 60-year-olds and they just look miserable, and that's just not where I envision myself to be. I just want to have my own thing. I want to own it. I want to decide my own fate, basically.
Yep.
So I started thinking, what am I good at? What am I valuable with, And that's how I found Liam on YouTube. And since then it's been good. Joined the community last May, and since then I was just a sort of a general agency owner, doing general automations.
Yeah.
Finding people through the community. Those are my first few clients. And then I shifted completely to cold email lead generation.
Let's go.
Which was good at the time. I felt like, now that I look back at it, the reasons I went into it weren't great. It was simply because, it's probably going to be the thing that makes me the most money. It's probably going to be the easiest thing to sell, etc. I was pretty good at it too, but not that great. And I felt like I wasn't really relying on my skill set, which is AI. Like, I'm certified and qualified in AI. Why the hell am I going into marketing, which is like this blue ocean just filled with, everyone and their dog. So
right.
So I did that for 6 months, and 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was thinking to myself, it was going okay. I had like a few clients. I had like 10 plus clients at the time that I signed. None of them I could fulfill great for. And I used to dread the work, right? Like I just get up out of bed and I just dread, I have to write this copy for this person. It wasn't just an enjoyable process for me compared to AI. Back in the day when I used to wake up and, grind out some N8N workflows, I'd be so excited to get up out of bed, you know? So, so I thought to myself, what am I doing? I'd rather be struggling through something that I enjoy so I can actually pull through compared to, doing the marketing stuff just for the money. So I shifted back into AI, and perfect time because sort of AIOS is kind of at the early stage right now where not everyone is aware of it, which is great for me. And the reason I have this call with you today is because I had my first AIOS or AI audit in general with a current client that I had for cold email. So I shifted him from cold email to AI services. And because out of my goodwill, I told him, okay, Randy, I know I'm canceling he had like a rolling subscription with me, just paying for the tech. I told him, okay, I know we're canceling halfway through, and as goodwill from my side, I want to give you something for free. I'm shifting into AI transformation. I want to give you something for free initially, and then we can see how we can work. I know you don't like free things. I remember you saying if you give the milk away for free, they won't buy the cow.
That's right.
So I wanted to get into that with you, and yeah, so so I ran the
Thanks,
audit.
Grandpa.
I ran the audit. It was we found three main things that we want to focus on. He told me invoicing is a huge problem for him. He told
Great.
me communications with contractors, and he runs a commercial cleaning business. So contractor reaches out to him regarding a residential cleaning job. He checks the calendar, liaises with subcontractors and cleaners, confirms. He's basically on his phone 24/7, and he hates it. He wants to spend more time with his family. And he told me that in a year's time, he wants to just step back from the business and have his currently part-time employees be full-time and run the thing for him.
Okay.
I feel like that's huge for me because I can play a major part in that.
Yep.
So my questions were, because he was so focused and so passionate about just getting his invoicing in check and automated, do you reckon that I should still sell AIOS for him? I see the potential for AIOS with him, but do you think the first step, given all the context that I gave you of, okay, I want to provide something for free, should I even do that in the first place? Should I sell AIOS and pitch it as, okay, I'm going to build your QuickBooks automation, your communications with your contractor, etc., all on top of it? And also the second question is, should I do it for free, or should I charge for it? And if so, how much do you reckon?
What was your previous contract with him?
Cold email. He was paying just for the tech, like around $300 a month just for the tech, and he'd pay me $250 per qualified appointment that I bring him.
And when you told him you were transitioning, what were the words you used? You said, we're going to shut this down, which meant you lost $300 a month plus any lead you brought in. But then also, did you say you were about to give him something for free?
Yes, I said, Randy, I'm remodeling my business from cold email and lead gen to AI strategy.
Okay.
And I want, I'm running a founding program, and I thought of you initially because you're super busy, and I want to make your life easier. I'm pitching it for free.
Yeah. So my first thoughts are, do the thing he's in the most pain about, and then show him what's possible when you deliver it. So I am totally fine with you giving something away for free. Just, I think in the context of the conversation last night, it was a gentleman who was looking to pledge more of a managed services agreement, and he was doing, I said like $1,500 a month minimum, up to $4+ grand a month as a service base, but he should not give that away because people will get used to that for free. But if you want to give them a sample, absolutely. And for this client, if you want to continue the retainer, I mean, I could even see a world where you say, hey, I know but if you've already advertised for free, deliver what you said. Absolutely. The thing you described, you say invoicing? Yeah, the invoicing piece. And then when you go to deliver that, I would sow a vision by way of a presentation for what's possible with the AI. Once you get the AIOS, once you get that installed, he's going to love it. And then you just say, now imagine if we took that same concept and applied it to the rest of your business. And that would start with an AI operating system that makes those things possible. And furthermore, we'll give you one dashboard to even read the things I just built for you, right? So you can connect it to a hub, a brain, that can assimilate all those pieces. I have no trouble with you taking that approach, because he's going to feel it. He's going to love it. Yeah.
On that, the invoicing, I had a conversation with Otto, and he told me, you should charge for this. I said, but I promised something for free. And then he said, yes, but this is his biggest pain point. That he literally said, oh, invoicing. Oh my God, I hate doing invoicing. Yeah. So I feel like that's my biggest leverage.
The other thing you could do, because you're right, that was the only reason I was saying that is because you already said you do something for free. The other thing you could do for free is just spend 90 minutes with him or 2 hours interviewing him to create the architecture, like the starter package or whatever they call it inside the community, the starter, the architecture. It creates all the folder systems, all the context, markdown files, etc. And then you interview him to create those. I use my own framework, but I know inside of AAA it's like 4 key documents that are part of Context OS. And you gift him the AI operating system. You're not gifting him via connection, but you're just going to install the AI OS starter package, which is architecture, and context OS, and then put it on his Claude Cowork, I'd charge $5,000 for that. But if he doesn't value it already, then it's not going to do him any good. So it's a low ask for you time commitment wise, but it's a huge impact for him when he opens up that Claude Cowork and starts working with it. And then you say, now what this makes possible is this invoicing piece, and he is going to pay for that. Otto's absolutely right. You could charge a one-time fee to build it, and you're right back to your $300 a month to keep it on, or whatever you think the 10 to 20% of the value that it's adding is worth. So that's probably simpler, because he's right. I was just working with the fact that you told the gentleman you would do something for free. But if you tell him you're going to give him a free base level AIOS that then becomes modular, which is my whole sales approach. Hey, you buy the architecture, that makes all these outputs possible. I usually charge for the architecture and for the outputs. In this case, you would just charge for the architecture and bill for the output, which is the invoicing, but then connect it to the AIOS with an API key that then he can read by just querying his Claude Cowork. Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
And
So
bill for that.
Yeah.
Just do context OS and the architecture piece. So like there's data OS, Intel OS, all that takes a long time. I wouldn't do all that. Let me see, because it's just that's a lot of work, and you really are giving a lot for free. I'm signing into Well,
also another thing is that client is in California, US, and I'm in the UK. So doing that Claude Cowork implementation, would that be done over the cloud?
No, you can give him a markdown file, and as long as he integrates you can get on the phone with him, have him download the Claude desktop app, go to Cowork, and drag your markdown files, which you should customize. You're not going to just grab what's in the community. Customize your own for the client, right? He'll drag in the first one, have him install it. Then drag in the second one, the AIOS. Where is that course? It's under, up top. All right, it's under courses, AI operating system. The first one is called the starter kit, right? Plug and play module installs.
I remember those. I did those for myself.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just looking at the module installs. So it's like you choose your path, desktop or Claude Code. I don't actually see the markdown files. Let me go back. Oh, there it is. It's an AIOS starter kit.zip. It's in like the very first one of the getting started section.
Sweet. I mean, you're saying do it on his desktop. He's way more of with cleaning business owners, they just do everything on their phone. So I guess, is Claude Cowork on the phone as well?
No.
No?
You would well, you can do one of two things. Claude Cowork has a dispatch feature, which is supposed to be text messaging from your phone to your computer. I have found that the sessions have trouble persisting. I need to reevaluate it because I need to do it right now. I found it was having a hard time. Staying, like, the sessions were not staying clean. I need to test that so I can give a better output. But dispatch technically does that, yes. So it is a text message session with your computer. It is in beta. It says so. So you should expect some functionality there. If you set it up for code, even though he's working in Cowork, it will still run on code in the back end. You can set it up and pipe in terminal. Or not terminal, Telegram. So I'm looking at my phone, and then you can just dial in to it. It's the same functionality. He's just doing it from Telegram. So that to me is a huge win, but that is a chargeable. That is, you pay for that. You know what I mean? Like, that's expensive. You know, it takes a lot to build that.
Yeah.
Let me see. Yeah. So, and then I'm looking here through my Claude. Through Claude app, you can access dispatch from the Claude app on your phone. So, I need to give you a better. It is overdue for me to retest it. It's been in beta a long time, but I was such an early adopter. I was disappointed with the way it was functioning. And I had it set up to my Mac Mini, but now I'm going to move it back to my travel computer because I just do all of my work there. And until I get my entire operating system set up on my personal work device, it doesn't help me to transfer a copy of it to my Mac Mini to then persist. Once I get the Mac Mini set up, though, I will probably dial into that from Telegram because I can just leave it on all the time, you know. So
Yeah,
you either have to you can do dispatch right away. That's a blurry answer, but if he's
I used dispatch before.
The only way I found, because you can't keep context on a phone or on a web app, so the only thing I've done before is after I built the OS, I have the context piece. I have it create a markdown file exhaustively with the explicit instruction, create a markdown file for me to live in Claude web app so that when I access it with my phone, it's got all of my context. And I use it as a brainstorming partner. But then we're putting a little bit of friction on our clients because if they're not native to AI like you and I are, it's going to feel like too much of a headache.
Clunky. Yeah. Makes sense. Okay, so you think that doing sort of a very preliminary basic AIOS as the free implementation, would just be Context OS initially, and having him play with it, but I'm wondering, like, what value would he see in that? Because in his head, okay, I just want my invoicing taken care of, I want my communications taken care of.
Sure.
That's it.
It's going to make his computer itself smart like an employee. So if you can add his contract files, if you can add, I mean, I don't know what his workflow is, right? So some of that is obviously dependent on if a computer is valuable to this person at all. If a computer itself is not valuable, if they are not working with a computer often, it's probably not going to be. That person just needs automations. But if they have a back office, if they have people that do, somebody's got to do billing, somebody's got to do contracts, somebody's got to run PDFs and upload to Stripe or whatever his payment processor is. Like, those things are all off the back end of Claude Cowork, like Claude desktop app. So, in fact, on my list of things to research tomorrow is Claude has recently released a small medium business platform through a plugin that's going to have like some really basic functionality. Now, these are for small market companies, right? But I'm not going to install this for my $10 million or $25 million companies, you know, etc. But for the business owner under $1 million, it's huge being able to connect straight to your QuickBooks. So there's a lot of power there. I'm curious, but that's what I'm seeing. If it's not valuable to him, then I would find a way maybe to do an add-on to the system you're delivering him that would be seen as valuable but wouldn't be the whole thing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or this is why I do an audit, so that way I'm not guessing. You know what I mean? That you want to go in and be able to know what their actual processes are. Maybe it's a smaller ticket thing that you bundle. Hey, I want to give this to you in view of delivering this.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. So I was thinking the free thing could be building the AIOS or the Context OS initially, and the add-on would be if you want the QuickBooks automation, or you're going to need to have this AIOS that I usually charge $5,000 for.
Absolutely. I don't think that's weird at all. I mean, all these things that come with the SMB package, just plugins, they're paying you for your knowledge and you're doing it. They're not paying for you to create it. It's really important because, you know, a person can get discouraged like, oh, man, there's so many things. Yeah, well, nobody knows about Whisperflow. I use it every day, all day. I have for 6 months or more. Stephen Bartlett advertises it on every stinking podcast, and people still aren't using it. Well, they pay me to tell them to use Whisperflow, and I bundle it into my package. I get a commission for installing it from Whisperflow. Like, you can't win for losing or lose for winning. So it's like consultants have been selling things other people have done forever. It's your knowledge and information that you're getting paid for. And then the implementation piece is another way to get paid on top of your knowledge. So for you in particular, for this gentleman, it may be that you're just saying, hey, I can connect and set all this up for you. It's not less valuable. You know, it's the same functionality, whether you built it or not. I mean, I've sold solutions that people inside of our community built, still got paid for it. Nobody cares. They just want they want the benefit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, in fact, in some ways, anchoring in somebody else's product makes you more stable. So,
just don't reinvent the wheel.
Really, we don't have enough time. This is going to be, we are in a gold rush, and we do not have that long. Man up. Unless you have a really significant moat, having a SaaS is a total waste of time. You're going to have massive VC backing because it's just not going to fit. Like, the window's going to close. Somebody else is going to, what are you going to do? So, yeah.
Cool.
Think of things that you can offer that would still be a felt benefit but would not have a retainer possibility, because Otto's right. Delivering that major of a solution for free is a big deal. And you just gave up $300 a month.
Yeah, true. You constantly mentioning it makes me realize, like, shit, should I have even done that?
Well,
like, promised something free?
Yeah, I think you could have. I wouldn't have, because he was already paying. So you just went backwards, which is okay. You won't forget it, you know. And if all it cost you was $3,600 next year, it was a fairly inexpensive lesson. So, Yet you're just transitioning. Hey, I found, because your real position is the AI guy, because the market's going to change too much. So yeah, you did cold outreach. Great. Keep it going for a time and say, hey, the market's changing and there's some really great opportunities. I wanted you to know we can do this now too. And then you get him onto that new thing. He sees a big bang for his buck. If the other thing isn't working, just be honest with him. Report back to him, hey, as I look at this, I'm not sure this is the best use of your funds. These other things are here. I'm happy to keep doing this if you want to, but I think it might be better to reinvest that $300 a month over here. So now you're just helping guide them and navigate this emerging AI landscape. Man, that is such a trusted position. So I don't think you needed to give something away for free, but since you did, just trying to figure out how to do that without giving away the farm on a high leverage, really important pain point. The AIOS is crazy valuable, just the context engineering by itself, for a person who works with their computer all the time. But if they don't, you're right, you're going to have to find something else. But I would just think in terms of bundling and still charge them for the big thing. And present the free thing in view of the thing you're going to charge him for.
But then wouldn't that put me in a position where if I only implement, or if the AIOS is free and I charge for the QuickBooks automation on top of it, then that means that I can't charge further for the AIOS.
You can charge for everything the AIOS does. The AIOS is architecture. People pay for the view out of the windows. And I'm fond of this analogy. Like, nobody pays for the foundation. It's ugly. Nobody wants to go in their crawl space and see it. It's underground. But you have to have it done right to make everything else work. And so if they want to suddenly start creating contract documents that their clients sign via DocuSign, well, they're going to need to have an input, which is their current business framework, all of their sales processes, everything documented, plus the output, which is their desired version of what a perfect template would look like. Then you have to build that and have it dialed in as a workflow, as a skill. And then when you say, hey, I need to ship a new document for a new client, that thing automatically says, great, here's the 5 questions you asked me to ask you about every new client in order to do this. You enter that information, click enter, and now it just kicks it out. But all that requires an AIOS to work. They don't want to buy the architecture, though. They want to buy the DocuSign. They want to buy the output, whatever that is. But I sell the AIOS as capacity that makes all those future things possible. So later, as you do hear about opportunities, as you do think about that client, and it's like, oh, I could do a contract redline and review skill, or oh, I create this for them. Now you've already done the architecture work that makes that just a skill, and you can plug and play it and ship it. Hey, I built you a new thing this month, by the way. It's a markdown file. Just drag it into your desktop, click enter, and install. So that's my positioning. It makes all that possible, and it really does make it possible. Furthermore, I can run an analysis against news that came out this month versus my client's documents inside of my own hard drive and say, hey, what opportunities emerged for this client this month, and build things and say, or, just get a synopsis and send them an email saying, hey, I thought you might want to know this happened this month. Here's how it would affect your business. And I immediately thought about this solution. Would this be of interest to you? Cost you no time. You could even automate that. And if they say, yeah, you just print it. Collect $1,500 and send them an email. It's really that easy. So I have a client who didn't want an AIOS, and now he just pays $2,500 every time he wants something. But he hits me up once a month, and he's like, I got a new idea. And I go, okay. This would have been easier if we'd have done it before, but now I got to charge you more, and I just do, and it's fine. So
Makes sense.
If you build
as long as you have the base in place.
That's it. Once it knows all that, then you can even equip them to build their own software. And I'm not looking to keep a retainer on everybody. I mean, if I can get $5,000 up front, help them build the system, and then ship it, fine. Because that kind of client is not going to pay me a retainer every month, right? Not the kind I want. So I want 4 or 5 clients that pay me $4,000 or $5,000 a month to be their C-suite AIOS, executive, as a fractional CAIO, and then deliver high leverage solutions. That's where you have to fish your way up to. So you don't need to go free anymore because you've already got paying clients. But once you get 3 clients at a certain capital level, then you go to the next level and the next level. Eventually, the idea would be to have enough recurring medium-sized business, small, medium business, that it pays the lights, keeps the lights on, keeps the bills just barely. And then you're doing enough high leverage stuff, which takes a lot longer to close, but that's the stuff that changes your life financially. Mm-hmm. And those things
Is that what you did?
Yeah, absolutely. So I make $8,000 to $12,000 a month on small stuff. What I would consider small, anywhere from $1,000 up to $5,000 per client, and then I $20,000 to $30,000 in high ticket stuff closes each month, because it's on a long time contract where I'm getting paid in installments as we deliver. So yeah, that's the way, man. Keep the lights on with small, medium stuff, and then you have these larger chunks, and you don't have to freak out. The small, medium stuff is almost always the same. You're just delivering to new people, but it's hard to scale that kind of stuff without hiring other people. So
yeah,
anyway,
makes sense.
Adham, so good to see you. I need to jump on another call, dude. But
no worries at all.
There's a way forward in this. You just need to figure out how to give them a high fructose corn syrup buzz with something free that's not so significant that you put yourself out of a lot of money to deliver it.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Thank you so much for your time, Eric.
Yeah, dude, my pleasure. And apparently you were on last night's call, so I'll continue to do that inside the community every Monday night. And then these calls I will do. We may spread them out throughout the week. I don't know. We're still beta testing it, but regardless, I'm going to keep doing these live one-on-one calls. So
perfect.
Awesome.
Thank you, Eric.
Yes, sir. My man, we'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, bye. All right. Rishi is up. I saw him last night on the Q&A call. Let's get him out. Wow, wow.
Hey.
Hey, hey.
How's it going?
How are you doing, sir?
Good.
I have to do all the button clicking. Man, it was good to see you last night.
Yeah. Likewise.
That was like midnight for you, you said?
Pretty much.
Ooh. No bueno.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. All right, I have to pin. I'm trying to get this sequence dialed in for you and I, and then I have to go back to the other view mode to make the fireflies go away. And then I hit this button, and we're good to go. Okay. You're back. If not, I have to stare at myself the whole time because the camera angle is just a little off. So I'm looking at you right now, which is perfect. But if I look at me, it looks like I'm looking sideways. But if I pin you first, which is logical to me, then you're off to the side, and that's no good. So I have to make it so I look at you. Anyway.
Okay.
Oh, my guy, as always, you know, I continue to forget I got to do this, but I got to read this disclaimer. By joining this call, you agree that our conversation could be recorded and broadcast live and in future replays across all platforms. This is coaching, not legal or financial. This is coaching, not legal, financial, or professional advice. You're obviously responsible for your own decisions and results. If you're cool with that, good. Cool. Well, good to see you.
It's good to be here.
So you have an opportunity coming up about, you may not even want to talk about that, but some new opportunities coming up. Let me say that.
Yeah. So it's essentially 3 or 4 different opportunities, including, a prospect and 3 existing clients. All of them, the existing clients are transitioning from sort of custom build scenario to this sort of operating system, business operations, where we have this centralized data layer. I mean, we've been talking about AIOS quite a lot in the accelerator, but for the benefit of viewers who have no idea what AIOS is,
sure,
it's essentially a layer of data that we get business owners to be able to interact with the data more directly and more organically versus developing a custom piece of software, which would do that, but restricted to just its functionality as it's built. While with the sort of data-based operations system, AI-powered, they have a lot more freedom to pretty much do what they like. And well, yeah, it's my main sort of question or query in some way is how to transition most, if not all, of my clients from this sort of custom build scenario to them being more AI empowered. And of course, we want everybody to win. So I want my client to feel that, oh, this guy has built something for us and he's taught us how to fish, rather than he's just given us some fish and it's delicious.
So the question is, how do you, so I mean, is that really just are we really just talking about an education layer?
Not exactly, because it's implementation as well. Because getting them to buy into the operation system or AIOS, whatever you want to call it, is the main question. How do you get them from, oh, Rishi built this really cool thing for us, which is a web app, which does the job and which solves the pain point that I approach them with, to then transitioning them into, guys, there's this other thing which is so much more flexible. You want this. You don't know that you want this, but you do. So how to make that transition in a way that they actually have that wow factor and want to implement that in their business.
So moving your own existing clients towards an AIOS. Yeah. I mean, I think you have to show them. People buy outcomes, not features. So, you know, that's the old analogy, like, sell me this pen. You know what I mean? And, well, if I talk about the pen, nobody cares. But if I talk about the things it can do and why they need to sign something, you know, and I think I've seen 10 different versions of this, but somebody's like, sell me this pen. And he's like, you know. So you take the pen and then you hand them something and you're like, hey, can you sign that for me? You know what I mean? And they're like, no, I can't. Well, you'd need a pen. Let me tell you what this can do. You know what I mean? And so you just have to sell it in view of what's possible. You know, you brought up the SMB portal on Anthropic last night, so I just gave a quick look over. I will read it. I'll deep dive on it. But people still don't know it exists. They're not going to know it exists for a while. And even if they do, they don't want to set it up themselves. So your consultants get paid to be consultant, to know information and pass it on and advise. Then we get paid in the second phase to develop, but we don't have to ever even move to development. And I'll be honest, it's a piece of work. So it's also in extraordinary margins if you can find something worth doing. But if it's not extraordinary margins, I would rather just hand the client over and collect $1,000. And I just get paid for the consulting work. So I'm working on some thoughts about that myself for some small ticket stuff like sub $5,000. But the answer to your question is, in order to make them want to do that, you have to say, hey, here's these solutions I built for you. They're incredible. And as the market is evolving and changing so much, I think you ought to know that there's a capacity that is emerging in our ability to build a true AIOS infrastructure, a backbone underpinning your business, a vertebrae, that makes all kinds of future adaptations possible in almost no time at all, because it will know, understand, and think about your business. A lot of people understand how most AI models are trained, that they need data. They need to know what C.S. Lewis sounds like in order to sound like C.S. Lewis. They need to know what Stephen Colbert sounds like in order to imitate Stephen Colbert. I'm picking random people, but they need to know what the Queen sounds like in order to imitate the Queen. Awesome. Well, how did they know that? Well, somebody had to feed them information about the Queen or from the Queen. And so now there are these copyright infringement lawsuits and all this. Everybody kind of understands that. You have to train the data. And the LLM itself is brilliant only because it's been trained on the entire world's data. Tesla AI is only smart because they pay people to literally look frame by frame on what the cars are seeing and circle trees, circle stoplights, circle people, and label them so that the AI is learning over time. Oh, that's a tree. That's a stoplight. And it's just pattern recognition. It's just getting so smart. So then the question becomes, if an AI is that smart externally, and I still get all of that superpower, and then I invite it internally onto our hard drives, our servers, to then be trained on us personally about how we, not only our raw data like contracts and SOPs, but on our mission, vision, values, the employer and owner's whys, the thing we're actually driving for, quarterly goals, annual goals, monthly report, etc., so that now we can speak to that AI, which is trained on our entire company and the whole world, with just the same internal dialogue that we would use to describe it to a coworker, but it actually just does it in fractions of a second, in moments, compared to what would take a well-trained, well-intentioned human many minutes, if not hours, to reproduce. So I use the PowerPoint presentation as the perfect example, because there is no professional advantage to me being skilled at PowerPoints. There are 10 AIs that do it better. Canva, Gamma, never mind Claude itself, inside a PowerPoint natively on your desktop. So if I can show it a version of a presentation I love, it will codify it as a markdown file. Never mind, it can just reference those PowerPoints and say, oh, this is what he wants. I've gotten several of my writing structures refined over and over and over again. And once I've trained it that succinctly, in addition to the general rules it's written, I keep a very tight template selection of these are your options. Replicate these exact formats and vernaculars and tone and etc. and grammar styles. I have a very insistent on punctuation and paragraph physical shape, etc. And when I write something, make it like this. Now, I only have it write about things that are already in my teaching roster and resume. So what am I saying? I couldn't do any of that without an AIOS. I couldn't say, hey, write me a new post. I couldn't say, hey, create a new PowerPoint presentation. Hey, create this sales document. Hey, take care of my board meeting minutes and ship me a new thing through DocuSign. If I didn't build the AI OS. So you have to just show them all that's possible, and they're truly getting a co-worker, aptly named, into their business, but it has to be trained like any employee. So I personally teach 7 levels of AI so that everybody can understand what those are. It's not rocket science. I built a whole thing. I'm trying to remember where it would have been, to be honest. I have a visual I could show you, but regardless, I'd say, you know, it's like a person coming to work for you. That person has a home context and culture and lifestyle that they are bringing to you as their personhood. Well, so does Grok, so does Claude, so does OpenAI. They have a way of communicating. OpenAI feels comfortable with emojis. Why? It was built on the premise that AI should be open source. Obviously it's not, but it's how it was built. AI from OpenAI is the most pedestrian, and its number one use is personal growth and counseling advice. This is overwhelmingly why most people use it. According to their own data, there's a lot of reasons people use it, but the one that is the most is personal insight and recommendation about themselves. Counseling advice. What should I do about this or that? Claude was built on code. It was built for coders with businesses in mind. So it has, when it took stands that were native to its own culture, like we just don't believe in being controlled by the government and sharing openly, we believe in data privacy, man, they instantly destroyed a part of the segment for OpenAI, captured a ton of data, and have shown a $10 billion profit margin for Q2 in projection, while OpenAI is only at 5. So they took the market by storm. Why? Because their internal cultures, well, that LLM level 1 is a big deal, which one you choose. That's why we're going to go with Claude. All right, and then you've got context and intent. That's layer 2. That person comes to work for you. Now they need a hat. Now they need to know about your mission, vision, values, why, but also your colors and your where to find things and all of that. That's the context layer. And then you get to I believe it's the workspace layer, which is where do they work? And the answer is now on your computer, not in the cloud. That's a big deal. Gives them access to all your stuff. You're letting them come in the front door. You know what I mean? And they're a team member. And then the next layer is tools. What do they have access to? Well, that's 4 layers. Tools, and that would be your software, like your PowerPoints, your Word documents, your Excel spreadsheets, your browser, your entire computer if you want it to be. Then they need skill or actual things to work with, which are the files themselves, the PDFs, the docs, the Excels. Then they need skills, which are cookbooks. They are like, hey, when you go to do this thing, here's the plan. Right? And that's written out numerically and predictably and quantifiable and concrete. And then the last thing they need is a title and a command. So if you say, hey, write me a legal brief, you're going to get a generic answer. If you say, hey, you're a $1,500 trial lawyer from Manhattan in the form of XYZ, I want you to write me a legal brief about XY, you get a totally different thing, right? But that last piece can actually be low quality if all those first 6 layers are built well. You can just use slang and internal references to get those outputs. So I think just knowing how the dang thing is built, most people just don't. And so when you can walk them through all that, which I did recently in a presentation last week, Thursday, for a group of like 15, 3 of the people were already my clients, and I left with 4 more because they're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. And I'm like, that's why when you're only giving a prompt to a generic LLM online, you're getting a half response. But if you'll build all this, you'll get a much better response. And if you don't want to build it, I can. And you can have it inside of a week. You know, awesome. Or we can take it longer form, build it for your whole team. Or you can do it yourself and go to my school community, and there it is. You know what I mean? So whatever that looks like. I think when you do a little bit of education, but you show them what is possible by way of defined demos, that you should test first and make sure they're brilliant. You know what I mean? That really are maybe about them. I think you sell that naturally. People want those outputs, you know? they just don't know what's possible. Never mind, they don't know it's possible for them to start dreaming about AI themselves. And if you can give them like a project requirement document skill, PRD skill, or a skill that helps them distill and invent things, people don't think like developers. So that's a huge thing. Like, hey, how do I ideate first? Then how do I create a plan? Then execute the plan? Then iterate on the plan? But just those first two things, like ideating and then creating a plan, that's a massive AI skill. Massive. Phase 1, 2. And if you can get them to do that and then deliver it to you, you can build it, or you can teach them how to do it themselves. Those are for tech-forward AI founders. I find most people don't want to know anything about that. They just want us to do it because they're running their own business. So that's where I think you win, by educating them to a certain degree, because at some point they'll realize how much iteration it takes to get correct, and then you keep your job for now. That was a lot. Does that make sense?
It does. I'm processing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's telling them about what this is, educating them,
Mm-hmm.
and then showing them an example
Mm-hmm.
of either previous work or something to do with their own data.
Yep.
And I think getting their own data would be the
That would
more,
be super powerful. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, because
But
then
then-
it's specific.
yeah. And if it's a first or second call, getting their data then becomes the question. But then
if you already have some of their client data, or you just do deep research and scrape their website and their LinkedIn and all the pages of their website, you can get enough data to make it uncomfortable. I just did it live with one of the clients in the room. He was my own client, and I did a demo on his stuff in front of his peers. And they were like, "Oh my gosh, that sounds just like something Tiny would say." You know, his name is Tiny. So like, oh, it sounds just like something he would say, etc. So it's it wins, man. If you can demo real data, yep.
right.
And if you don't, demo your own data, but it's just got to be about something that would apply to them.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially if you're inside of Claude Cowork, which is visually appealing to them. And you can just say, hey, what were last quarter's numbers? Hey, can you pull this? Hey, can you do that? And it just does it. Even that by itself, man.
Okay. So I built this little something for a different client. So this is a cattle breeding business in the US.
Okay.
And they said that they're using a combination of Excel and Microsoft Access. I remember seeing Microsoft Access and never using it, but
Databases?
I asked, sorry?
Is that database?
I think so, yeah.
I think it is, yeah.
So I asked Claude to sort of put something together from their cattle data. And I asked the business owner, okay, what do you do with that data? Then she was like, we put it in Access, and then we interrogate it, and then we create like a catalog of all the bulls, pretty much. So can I share my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so entire screen, share. Okay. So what's happening here is this is what Claude built for me.
I'm going to move you to a different screen so I can... Well, no, then I'll lose the feed. Okay, cool.
Is that right?
Yep, I can see it enough.
So essentially, it's a whole sort of dashboard for all of their cattle, and it's organized it this way because I did give it some context of the fact that they use Microsoft Access, and it's a familiar kind of interface for them. So it's kind of emulated that style of viewing. As I said, I'm not a user of Microsoft Access, so probably they will be able to relate to it better than I can. But they would usually ask the data questions based on filters that they apply to the data. So like you said, it's a database tool. So they could just literally ask average weight of bulls in in June 2024. Just making this stuff up.
Yep.
Will it even work? Not sure. Maybe it's a demonstrator, so it doesn't.
Yeah.
Right.
If it doesn't have a dummy data, yeah.
Well, it's supposed to have all the data linked with it, but I'm still working on it. I'm not a developer.
Yeah.
So there's still some things that I need to clearly understand. So yeah, I mean, the buttons work, which is good. So based on the buttons, it is able to sort of filter the data. All twins.
I've learned that passive intelligence and active intelligence are both a little bit of a layer inside of the coding. They're not natively high end. So that piece you're talking about, yes, it's able to be put there, but I haven't been able to make it active on a demo. Not the way I want. Not at a production grade, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, this is just to show.
Sure. Yep.
They are looking at. I mean, the pain the person that I spoke to, she expressed was that I don't want to learn Microsoft Access. This is the pain in the butt.
Yeah.
I want something easier that we can just upload the data and it spits out all the intelligence that it needs to.
Yep.
And if there's standard questions that we're asking, like things like this, that they could just click, done, that's that, click, done, that's that, and have a dashboard which also gives them a high-level view of the various things that does the job for them. So that's why I built this with a little bit of conversation with Claude Code, and it's enough to get them like, we want this. I think, rather than building the whole thing out. I mean, this took half an hour. While the full tool will probably take 2 hours, 3 hours for somebody who knows what they're doing. And it can be sold for 4 figures. I can't imagine why not.
Yeah, for sure. Depending on I don't know what it would really take. That's where you just may need to get a bid on it, but yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it's just like, this could be a web app, but I want to get them thinking in a way that it's basically the data. So I would ship this as a skill for them to apply on their own Cloud Cowork, right? So they can just upload the data of the bowls and then say, tell me this, and Cloud Code just gives them the answer. Cloud Cowork just gives them the answer. Produce a report on this. Show me the whole analysis, then it does something like this. Produce a catalog, and it produces a catalog.
I would love for that to be true. I don't know if something that elegant. There's a good bit of intelligence on what you just said. So I don't know if it would be as simple as a skill. I would love for that to be true for a lot of reasons. But either way, it's even if it's not a skill, if it's a production grade product, so what? You just send them a bill. You know what I mean? Like, you just, and you don't get you don't get greedy, but you just say, hey, here's what it would take to develop this, and it's just simple as a quote for somebody. I mean, if one of the developers has, if they want the work, you just say, hey, here's what I've got. Here's the offer. Let me know if you can work with it. I mean.
So this is the catalog of 120 bulls that has been put together from that.
Wow.
From that data.
Yep.
Which Claude did in about 15, 20 minutes.
15 minutes, yeah.
Yeah. For somebody to have to put that all together, even if it's with Access, I would imagine it takes longer.
Yep.
So that's what I want to show them, that, like, I'm not even saying that I will build this for you. I'm going to give this to you for you to build yourself based on the data that you need. So you want to do it for 2024 June, you just do it for 2024 June. You want to do it for I don't know, spring of 2022, it'll just do to spring of 2022. So a fully kind of flexible system that they can just define a time period or something like that.
Yep.
And then it creates their catalog. It gives them this. It gives them full visibility of all their data. It can ask various questions to it. And I think it can be quite organic in the sense that they can just ask.
If you can unlock the query piece right there, I think that's the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because then they can just ask the questions and save those queries. And then they have these quick presets as well. So if there's questions that they've already asked, they appear there. And new questions, they can just ask in there.
And also, it's an internally facing operations piece, so it still has high accountability, but it is not the same as shipping a multi-user whatever. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, and it doesn't need to be, perhaps.
Nope, that's right.
Yeah, so it can be running on a simple link that anybody in their business can use anytime.
That's right.
It doesn't even have to be, well, it could be multiple Claude instances, or but does it need to be? Could it not be just one Claude license that the whole business uses?
Yeah.
And there's just different. It's just hosted on, like I host my data on Google Drive, so they could have the same, where I have different instances of all these different machines running. Google Drive always keeps a final backup. At the end of the day, you say, okay, wrap, and it just puts all the stuff that different people have done in the memory, and then all that context is available for everybody the next day.
I don't know why you couldn't. One of my developers has looked at trying to find a way to integrate all their local machines with a single source of knowledge. So they do have their individual context, but they can also access those things. Right now, running a Claude cloud-based agent doesn't have access to your context. It does capacity, but not context, and context is everything. So trying to have access to both of those things is a financial... we have talked about trying to solve that. I would need a test case to finance its development, because it's not worth it for me just to find out if we can solve it. I'm sure we can, but I'd need a multi-user system that would be worth it.
Have you tried the Google Drive approach?
Using Google Drive as the
So
like
all
as
your
the
folders-
integration through Claude Cowork?
No. So using Claude Code in Cursor, with Cursor, your folders, your context folders are all saved in Google Drive.
And are you downloading it to your hard drive? Google?
No, it's just synced with my hard drive. It's not downloaded.
That's what I mean. So like Cursor is still working on a folder on your computer, but that is synced with Google Drive.
No, Cursor is working with Google Drive directly. So Google Drive has a desktop app that you can download.
Yes.
And that desktop app is just the app. It just gives you direct access to the Google Drive.
Okay.
So that direct access, it just appears as C drive, D drive, G drive.
Sure. I'm wondering, I used to use iCloud Drive.
It should work the same way.
The redundancy got in the way because of how iCloud maps. So I had to switch to GitHub as my backup server. I still have backups on servers here in the house, but I just mean like my external server. Because I was thinking, oh, that'd be great. I can push to Git and have iCloud Drive, but the way that it maps, it won't. So I just need to look into that to see if I would mess up my setup with GitHub.
So I don't use GitHub at all. It's
Okay.
all Google Drive.
Okay. And if you're not, that's absolutely the way. And they could do that.
Maybe.
They could do that.
Maybe.
GitHub, it takes discipline. You have to commit after you're done and tell it to save, commit things, and then push them. So it is a little bit of a hassle, but it's I'm using so many things with GitHub that it's necessary. Like I built an app this morning for my family, right, for fitness. So it's fine for me, but until I needed it, I wouldn't advise it, and you don't need it. So Google Drive's perfect. When you do, just research it to make sure that the Google Drive saving function doesn't get in your way. So, dude, our time's up. I got to bounce, but so good to see you.
Likewise. Thank you.
And I'm going to keep, I mean, you heard me say it last night on the call, but I'm still going to do the Q&As in the community on Mondays. I'm going to do these live calls. I need to figure out the right rhythm and the pace of them still. It's a work in progress, and they've also limited my availability to new people coming into the community because it's so in demand. My coaching is so in demand that the minute it opens up, it goes away. So it doesn't matter how many spots we open up, somebody's always mad anyway. So I'm just trying to figure out how many other spots to open up each month. I need to offer more than I am, but right now I'm so bootstrapped, I'm trying to find the time to do it. And anyway, they will still be available, but these Tuesday spots, people just have a fear of coming on live. So it's fine. I'm like, more
does it
power to
actually
you.
go, like, does it go to YouTube?
Or it's on my YouTube channel. Yeah, youtube.com/Bledsoe Builds, BUILDS. You can see it right now. It's broadcasting at this exact moment.
We're live, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool.
And then what I'm going to do is in the future, I'm going to go grab the streams. Once they're done, I'm curious if they buffer at a high rate, because right now, like I'm looking at it, it's a little bit pixelated, but we're streaming. So I'm curious.
I think once it's done and saved, then it might
I think so, in which case I will film intros and then go to unique sections of calls that were really high value.
Beautiful.
So that they're YouTube. But I would love to have... I am weighing out the possibility of going, recording every day. I can go straight to camera really fast, and I'm very confident with that. The other day I did 5 videos in an hour, but not for this, for something else. So it's like, well, do I want to just put out a new video myself every day? Well, no, I actually think I need to be seen coaching people and in that space. So then being able to have enough segments, and so I wouldn't be mad though if I put out 5 videos a week in these early days, where I've got a coaching call video one day, then the next day I'm teaching on the thing I coached, and then I coaching call video, and then I'm teaching on a thing. So I only need maybe 2 that are just awesome performers each week. I had a video, my 3 o'clock call with a gentleman. He asked a question, and I got to tap into a vein I don't normally talk about, and I loved it. And I was like, oh, that's going to be good. So I'll go grab that little segment, because he's asking me a business question that I have a lot to say about. So rather than just kind of generic whatever advice or something, there's a moment where it's really teachable. I think it would be beneficial for everybody. It's beneficial to do the live, but it's even more beneficial to be able to harvest something out of the live to then be able to put out in a video where people can see, for his sake and for mine, us in a live interaction, but put out as a production video. So anyway, that's a lot, but right now, I'm just trying to clean my desk, man. If you could see it right now, oh, I got to do my taxes. I'm like way behind on everything. So this week is like all admin for me. Oh.
Well, need to get your agents working on that.
It's a blessing. I know. One of my favorite proverbs says you can have clean barns or fields full of hay. But it says when the oxen are in the barns, it's dirty. But it takes oxen to have a field full of hay. So basically, it's like, pick one. You want your barns to be clean, you don't make any money. But if you want to be making money, it's going to get a little messy, So that's it's a blessing.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, you have to say no to the world and go in a hole.
Yes. Taking a break is important.
All right, my man. I got to go. We'll see you later, bud.
Cheers.
All right. Bye.
Good night. Bye.
All right, folks. I hope that's so helpful. My good friend Rishi. I have no idea what we're looking at. We're looking at my calendar there, but okay. I hope that's helpful, friends. You heard me say to him, but we're going to have these Q&As come out regularly, and then I'm going to repost them as production-grade videos. Today, I think maybe the most powerful segment was talking about Rockefeller and Carnegie and Vanderbilt and how what they did, history repeats itself, and why it's so important to learn those lessons for our own business as we go forward. My own passion, right, is to be a steward of my family's stories and show how very systematically, under the Lord's kindness, we were able to repeat success over and over again. 22 companies, all from startup, $453 million, to be able to serve people and make a bunch of money. And that's my hope for you, to do the same thing. So keep tuning in, and I will look forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye.